welcome to Sin and Gin Podcast. I'm Victor Garsley.
I'm the Crowboy, Caca.
Mr. Graves. Gravestone.
And I am Frankenstein.
And welcome to Sin and Gin Podcast, the podcast where we tell you facts, we play games, we tell you news stories, and we have recently discovered Bruce Lee's younger vegetarian brother. His name is Brocco.
Yeah, good.
I knew it was coming.
Good.
Broccoli.
I used to look forward to these parts of the podcast.
Yeah.
Going downhill for me recently.
But the thing is, I used to just work on the spot, and now I panic and I actually try and think of something that I saw earlier in the day.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll write that down.
Yeah, exactly.
Broccoli.
Broccoli. That's Bruce Lee.
Kundo.
I think 43 is a good time to call it.
Kung tofu.
Kung tofu. Oh god, that was bad. But brilliant. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Hi guys. But we were meant to be all in a room together, but we've got old Crovid Joe.
COVID Joe.
Just
COVID
for the record, I don't have COVID. I just got one of those self-isolation things.
the ping and stings.
Yeah, so we're all being good boys and staying away from Joe. Mainly,
as is good advice for life.
Just
that's not even
as
with
any.
Yeah, that's not even with COVID. It's just stay away. You're gonna get pregnant.
The truth of the matter is, it wasn't test and trace. I sent that text.
Yeah.
And it worked perfectly. Well done. Checks in the box.
So hi guys.
Hello again.
Hi.
Joe, how have you been?
Good. Since the last podcast, I'm not diseased yet. Since the last podcast, it's been an entertaining. We watched England do a sad lose, but
Italian loss.
An Italian loss, and I spat on a pizza in revenge. I shoved a Gnocchi up.
You shit.
I shoved a Gnocchi up my ass.
Gnocchi.
Yeah, I did.
The little potato pasta.
Oh, Gnocchi. Sorry, right.
Because I also hate Finland.
I thought you said Nokia as well.
No, I put 11 Gnocchi up my ass, one for each of the Italian teams.
Serious question. How much Gnocchi do you reckon you could fit up your ass?
Probably 5.
In grams.
5 grams.
Yeah, carry on, Joe.
So I've had quite an adventurous week. I've travelled the country. Which is probably why I got the ping.
Is this where you get all your shit news stories from?
Yeah, I go and gather them in my pockets. I went 1,400 miles across our great nation for work and pleasure, and I also went 1,400. Yeah, I know.
Where did you go?
I went to Gnocchi,
Transylvania.
You've been doing the laps.
Yeah, I went to Newcastle. I went to Sheffield. All of the places. I also had I did my first go of surfing and coasteering. Now surfing, everyone knows, and it's pretty. I thought it'd be easy. I thought we'd go on a wave and I'd stand up on the board and it'd be fine. But all it was doing lots of press ups and being wet and
very cold. I can imagine.
And not once standing up on a board because I was quite inept at it. And then coasteering, if you don't know, is you put on a helmet and a life jacket and climb rocks and then jump off big tall ones. And it's terrifying and a good way to hurt your penis and balls a lot because they tell you to jump like a pencil, and I was a wonky pencil. So I kept landing in penis first into the waves.
How big is your penis?
Don't worry, I'll break my fall.
Actually, it was more like my balls. I think my penis had gone
I'll
size.
be all right, wouldn't I?
Yeah. No.
Dynamic,
Well, you're meant to go in so your feet take all the impact. But I was kind of at an angle, so my feet went in, and then it kind of just slapped up against my balls. And then the last one, on the really high one, I put my hands out because I panicked because there was way more hang time than I thought there'd be, and I just slapped the sea really hard. And then my
90s
face,
Joe.
then it caused me to kind of go forwards, and then my face also slapped the seat. So I don't recommend if you're bad at following simple instructions to stay in a certain shape. I don't recommend co-steering.
You're a manager.
Yeah, I know. But I panic jumping off big tall things because I'm actually quite afraid of heights.
He's a manager because he's good at
terrified
giving
of
orders, not taking.
Yeah, I will tell you
So
to
those
jump
who
off.
can't-
I'll
Jumping penis first.
do you know what?
Please jump,
bastard.
make sure
This
you
is-
keep your feet flat.
This is the great example of when your mum goes, oh, and if your friends jump off a cliff, are you going to jump off a cliff as well? And you go, you know what, mum?
Yeah.
I will.
I'm going to jump off
Penis
a fucking
first.
cliff.
The worst
It really
bit.
hurt the first time.
The worst bit were the instructors because they went, "Oh, don't worry, it's easy," and then they proceed to do like a triple somersault off of it, and they go, and then at the bottom they're like, "See," and you're like, there, like, "Oh, oh," and then I'm like, "Oh." The best
somewhere, mate.
the best way it was described as me falling was rolling down windows in a car. That's a nice visual clue for anyone that's listening.
Crowboy.
Yeah, I was trying to fly. But yeah, that's my week. And then I travelled a lot to glamorous places
Sounds
like
good.
Newcastle and Sheffield for work.
Lovely. Dave, how have you been?
I've been good. I've been working quite a fair amount. I've recently, for some reason, started listening to a lot of Billy Talent. Don't know
Oh
why,
yeah,
but
good.
I've had a fun time with that. Billy Talent 2, that album.
Down in the river below. Into the river below.
Yeah.
But otherwise, been just booking a lot of LGBTQ shows. Got an
Nice.
NB show.
Oh, look at Tipica.
Show tomorrow. Look at plus show tomorrow. And that's pretty much it. And then also actually like depending on whatever the fuck happens with COVID right now, I've got a load of shows lined up, which is
Good.
awesome. Yeah,
That's
which is-
awesome.
That's excellent.
So-
That is great.
Yeah, just working
Ash?
really, which is boring. So Ash,
How have
Yeah,
you been?
nothing much. I had a couple of days off this week from work because the creatures
You got the
come
goblin
down
over?
from the north. I've got the goblin over. Yeah, the Miss Bethington Robertson.
I was going to say, for anyone that doesn't know what the goblin is, he's talking about his better half, which
Yes.
he describes like some kind of clawed beast.
I mean,
Hooven, cloven hooved wench.
no, it's been nice. It's been nice. But apart from that, it's been pretty uneventful, to be honest. Yeah. So,
I hear you've eaten a lot of spam.
Not as exciting as co-steering, should we say? So,
No.
Yeah, I don't
No,
recommend
no.
it. 4 out of 10. My pants got really wet.
before you even jumped in.
Yeah.
Wet
I was going to say, was
Joe.
that before you landed? Yeah.
I'll tell you what, just before Matt goes on to his, has anyone, Dave, I assume you have, has anyone worn a wetsuit before?
Yeah.
I'd never,
I have, yeah.
I'd never worn a wetsuit. I was 32 years old. I'd never worn a wetsuit. And I was amazed the fact that I was in the sea. And I'm like, I'm actually not that cold. This must be what a seal feels like.
Yeah, but did you ever wee in your wetsuit?
I didn't know. Is that recommended?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, if you've never worn a wetsuit,
Yeah, and then you have to open the bottom of like your leg bit to like
oh
get
yeah,
some cold air in and like wash it out.
Yeah.
oh yeah, cool, yeah. Matt, what have you been up to? Weed in any wetsuits?
Actually, today.
You know,
Wetsuit
I've genuinely been living like a fucking hermit.
Oh.
I know
A helmet?
like my nan like rang me the other day and was like, "Oh, have you been outside? It's such a lovely day out." And as you know, when you come over, my blinds are constantly closed, so I don't know whether it's even fucking daytime.
But you are a vampire.
Yeah,
Is it
but,
for the benefit of Count Factula?
it is. That's why I have to get into character. But I've just booked a camping trip away with my mum and dad at the place where we went camping. So I expect it's going to be less rowdy, but more sex.
Little Dan Nash.
Yeah.
Little Dan Nash.
So yeah.
But you go with just your parents. Yeah.
I did think of something actually. Sorry, from my week that was interesting because Beth got a COVID jab on Tuesday, and it was actually Nancy that gave it to her,
Oh, yeah.
Nancy.
which was really weird. It was really
yeah.
strange. We got there, yeah.
Oh,
Really?
Nancy.
Yeah, it was really strange. It was
Oh,
funny.
Matt, you.
Oh,
yeah.
that must. I didn't know she actually gave her the vaccine. Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah, Matt,
Oh, I have done something.
remember on the last episode? Remember the last episode when you took the piss out of me because I forgot my own gig? Do you remember that? I was waiting for so long for you to realise.
I know, is he going to say anything about
I was sitting there like,
God.
when's he gonna say it? When's he gonna say it so I can pounce?
It's just
me.
clocked.
Oh my god! You know what? I can't
I even,
believe
like,
that.
said gig.
You know what? It's been so long since we played gigs.
No, I used that excuse last time.
Yeah, but it is. I take back my piss take from last.
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Yeah, I played a steampunk gig with Nancy. Yeah, we went up to Nottingham. We had a great day in Nottingham.
While I was jumping in the sea, Matt was.
Yeah, while you were jumping in the
Matt was
sea,
smashing your
I
bollocks.
can't believe I
Sorry.
forgot it. Yeah, at Papplewick Pumping Station. Absolutely
Easy for you to
wonderful
say.
Gig.
That's her name.
I think there was about 150 people there watching.
Nice.
All outside.
Naked.
Managed to get a hokey cokey in. We got a Danza de los Muertos in. And
Nice.
yeah, we actually had a great time. I can't believe
Excellent.
Well,
So
yeah.
funny.
that. What a cunt.
welcome to the podcast where four men slowly lose their memory.
Have we met?
It's time for Count Factura, I think.
Count Factura.
Actually,
Factura.
Oh, fact what?
God, it's one of those episodes.
Hey, do you remember that episode of Sid and Jim where Count Factura had a stroke? See you in the next segment.
I've got facts for you. You've got facts for me. Well, here comes Count Factula to drain you with his facts.
Ellen Count Factula.
Fucking hell.
Goodness. Are you a mouse? Count Mouse, you know.
Can we bring back?
Brett, are you okay today?
Baby, come back. Bye.
You know what? I haven't drunk for like.
That's the piss one today.
I haven't drunk for a while. A whole 4 days. So I think I'm pissed. Hi everyone, welcome to Come Back Show. This is the segment of the show where we tell you a fact where we've either barely researched or researched for 8 days before this podcast was recorded. But we don't know what we're saying. So
I don't know what we're saying.
Well, okay, so Ash's Count Factura was only the second most embarrassing thing about this intro.
First up is Joe.
Yeah, cool. We tell facts at each other. That's it, isn't it? Hey. I'm doing my fact now. My internet broke, so there's been a disjointed amount of time between the two bits to the beginning of the link and now. So I'm going to tell the beginning of mine again, even though you've already heard it, but the listener hasn't.
Pretend we haven't.
Yeah, just give me your most unbiased reactions. So you know when you're in school, your little school, with your school chums.
I went to school.
No, do you remember when you used to have a song and people at school would give you like different lyrics? So the one that I remember off the top of my head was Eiffel 65 Blue, and in my school it was If I Was Green I Would Die, or In Aberdeen I Would Die. I'm blue and
I'm still convinced
hear
it's
that.
that, to be honest.
if in Aberdeen I will die. In Aberdeen I will die. But in the 90s and 2000s, we had little lyrics that came with the CD sometimes. And then after that, the kids, the youth these days have the internet, so we're never a miss on lyrics. But in the 60s,
Which just asked you.
yeah, exactly. The human jukebox. But in the 60s, we did not have that pleasure. That everything came on vinyl. Vinyl did not have lyrics with it. So you remember the song by the Kingsmen, Louie Louie? Louie Louie. But basically, nobody knew the words to that song because the fuck would you? It's like, but yeah, so basically,
How'd it go?
And basically, kids would hear the song and then they passed around the lyrics at school about what they thought. And
That's a lyric.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they would.
One whole
The
lyric.
kids would come home singing it. Louie, Louie, did a pooey. Yeah, so the parents would hear these versions from the schoolyard and think this song was absolutely obscene. I can't actually find any of the lyrics they thought it was, but what happened was it opened up an FBI investigation into the song and the fact that it was too rude to play in the late 50s, early 60s.
Oh my god!
And it was signed off by J. Edgar Hoover.
Oh.
Yeah, and they looked into it, and the funniest thing about it was they played it backwards, forwards, slow, fast, any way they want. They could not figure out the lyrics. They literally could not figure out the lyrics. And so they went,
We got the top guys on the job.
and this has basically come to light. It's basically come to light because obviously it being from the 60s, the FBI case notes, all 60 pages of it were declassified a few years ago. And yeah,
I love the fact it was classified.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
basically they wrote to the record company. The record company had lost the lyrics. They were like, "You're just gonna have to talk to the band," and it actually went. They just didn't. So it just was unresolved. So at the time they were like, "We can't tell if this song's dirty or not. Listen to it at your discretion." It's basically was the FBI ruling. But it also caused me to have a look into songs that were banned and some favourites. So I thought I'd quickly rattle off some of my favourite ones. So obviously, "Relax" by
Sorry,
Frankie.
can I just make a point here that you
Yeah.
secretly put in a branch?
Oh, I put in a
facts
branch. Well, my
Oh,
original
yeah,
fact,
you used to put it on the slide.
my original fact
Yeah.
would have been quite short if my internet hadn't gone down for 20 minutes. So Frankie Goes to Hollywood, "Relax," obviously a song about
Do.
gay men having anal sex, which got yanked off the radio after being played for 20 seconds because the guy thought it was a song
Yanked.
about exercise. But even though the posters said "all the nice boys love seamen" and 19 inches that must always be taken were on the advertising for it.
19. Who's got
Yeah.
a cock that's 19 fucking inches?
Well,
Maybe there's
Have you?
yeah. That's
Yeah.
not me, don't me, mate.
Okay.
Maybe
George-
it's three men. Maybe
George-
three men, but one of them's got a bit 1 inch longer.
George Michael, "I Want Your Sex" was also banned.
Never heard that song before in my life.
Can you imagine in the bedroom going,
And-
right, come here, love.
I want your sex.
Or you.
Hey,
Oh,
if you look like George,
sex.
if you look like George Michael in the 80s, then
He is a handsome man.
I would have gone all right then.
yeah, just give me it.
Right.
Queen, "I Want to Break Free" was banned because he was in. Freddie Mercury was in drag. It was banned in the US.
Oh yeah.
"Me So Horny"
yeah.
by the Two Live Crew. Yeah, and
Why was that
obviously NWA, "Fuck the Police."
Oh yeah.
I wonder why. So yeah, that's my secret branch.
Oh, that's very good. Mr. Grave, what's your fact this week?
My fact. We all love a good cocktail here and there on a night out, especially up like Covent Garden. There used to be that cocktail bar that we used to inhibit.
Yeah, the cocktail bar.
The cocktail bar.
We are talking about the drink,
The
not
cocktail bar.
not a tail made of
The
cocks.
cock broth.
No, we're talking about a penis with a tail coming out the back end.
Ah,
of it.
cool.
Yeah,
And
we
then
are
you
talking
shove it
about
up
the
your
drink.
bum, and then it looks like you've got a tail,
Yeah, that one.
and
The old,
nobody knows
tail
you've
one.
got a penis up your bum.
And that is my fact. There you go. No, so basically, a cocktail. Imagine having a cocktail with a mummified toe in it.
Oh,
Rather not.
No, not for you.
Is this, sorry, I made. But is this where you have to let the toe touch your lip?
It is indeed.
Oh, carry
You have
on.
to let it touch
carry
your
on.
tongue.
Yeah.
So there's a cocktail with a mummified human toe in it, and it exists in a Canadian, all places, Canadian saloon. Basically served up in the downtown's hotel in Sourdough Saloon in Dawson City, Canada. The cocktail is connected to a legend that dates back to the 1920s about bootlegging brothers who placed one of their frostbitten toes in moonshine as a memento.
Whee!
Basically, in 1973, it was then discovered and preserved as a kind of like a ritual for this pub. or saloon, I should say. But basically, for years since 1973, they found this frostbitten black toe. If you Google it now, like the sour toe cocktail, you'll find a picture of this frostbitten toe. They put it in a shot of anything as long as it's 40%, because if it's anything lower than that, the alcohol quantity it'd be too watery for the toes. It might deteriorate and stuff like that. And you don't want, obviously, a frostbitten toe breaking apart.
Big gimmick.
It'd be like, oh,
it's nasty.
Okay. But so basically, it's a nice little thing. They have this toe. A long time ago, someone did it. And basically, when you do the shot, it's also obviously an alcohol quantity of 40%. So it can be anything, whiskey, rum, you name it. Mm-hmm. You have to do a shot where it has to touch your lips, as young Victor here said. It has to touch your lips, but you cannot swallow it because you will get a fine of $1,200 if you do swallow it. You can't obviously put it in your mouth fully. It just has to touch your lips or your tongue, and then you have to finish off the rest of alcohol around it. They currently have 10 toes in quantity at the moment, which they keep on salt when they're not being in a cocktail. And as I said before, it has to be in a 40% alcohol to keep it in a good state. They have had people from the Department of Health come and check. And as they said as well, as long as it's in salt and 40% alcohol, it's perfectly fine for them to carry on doing this. But a long time ago, one person did it and swallowed the toe.
Oh.
As I said that, made my stomach go funny. One person swallowed the toe as they did it. A few people have ended up stealing it and stuff like that. So at that moment in time, they currently have a collection of 10 different toes in quantity to do all these sour toe
How do they get
shots.
them?
A lot of the time, it's from people that have suffered from frostbite. So like mountaineers who climb up Everest and stuff like that, and they end up donating it, and it goes to this place, which is quite
I know what I want done with my toe. I want everyone to kiss it while they drink
I've
their
lost that
alcohol.
now. Yeah.
I should have done that with my bollock.
Oh my God.
Start a new bar, Matt.
Matt,
The cock and balls.
you've heard this because the guy from No Such Thing as a Fish did it. He tried it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I knew it from
really?
somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Okay. Well, Ash, what's your fact?
Okay. Shit, that's what it is.
Is this a fact that you've barely researched?
Pretty much, yeah. I genuinely, I've had a news story for quite a while, but I just couldn't think of something for a fact. So I just had food on the mind, so I thought, what is the story of the sandwich? And yeah,
I assume not the Earl of Sandwich.
It actually is, believe it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so but I'll give you a guess. So the sandwich as we know it was popularised in England in 1762 by John Montagu, the fourth Earl sandwich. Legend has it, and most food historians agree, that Montagu had a substantial gambling problem that led him to spend hours on end at the card table. During a particularly long binge, he asked the house cook to bring him something he could eat without getting up from his seat, and the sandwich was born. Montagu enjoyed his meat and bread so much that he ate it constantly, and as the concoction grew popular in London society circles, it also took on the Earl's name.
Technically, he didn't invent it. The cook invented it.
Here we go.
Oh.
Of course, John Montagu, or rather, his nameless cook, was hardly the first person to think about putting fillings between slices of bread. In fact, we know exactly where Montagu first got the idea for it. Says he travelled abroad to the Mediterranean where Turkish and Greek meze platters were served and dips, cheeses and meats were all sandwiched between layers of bread. So they reckon he got his inspiration from this. But apparently, he said the creation took off immediately. Just a few months later, a man named Edward Gibbon mentioned the sandwich by name in a diary entry, writing that he had seen 20 or 30 of the first men of the kingdom in a restaurant eating them. By the Revolutionary War, the sandwich was well established in England, and you would expect that American colonists would have taken the sandwich as well. But it says there's no any written record of a sandwich in America up until an American cookbook that was basically published in 1815. And they reckon the reason why is because American colonists... Well, no, American colonists were just so against anything that was popular in England. So it just says, it seemed like early American cooks tended to avoid culinary trends from their former ruling state. And the name sandwich itself comes from a British peerage system, something that most Americans wanted to forget. And it says, once memory faded and the sandwich appeared, the most popular version wasn't ham or turkey, but tongue sandwich. What? So, yeah.
We know that ham sandwich was the most popular type of sandwich in London in the 1800s because someone did a survey of people's favorite sandwiches that I remember hearing on No Such Thing as Fish, and you'd get ham men who would have this big cart full of a vat of boiling ham, and you'd come up with your bread and they just slaff you off a bit of ham on it, and you'd be like,
wow,
here's a shilling, thank you for my ham, tasty.
There's a couple of bits here that are saying about some popular sandwiches in America. Then you've got like the iconic New Orleans sandwich, the po' boy. Oh, yeah. Apparently that came about in the Great Depression during the streetcar worker strike. Two brothers, once streetcar operators themselves, owned a sandwich shop nearby and promised to feed any down on his luck striking worker for free. When a hungry striker walked into the shop, the clerks would yell, "Here comes another po' boy," and the name stuck. What's
in a po' boy? I feel like it's very much a depression sandwich now.
I'm not actually sure, to be honest. It doesn't say here, and I'm not familiar with it. But Sloppy Joe, which is another American one, was actually made in a diner by a cook named, what do you reckon?
Gary. Jeffrey.
Gary, yeah. Gary, Matt got it right. Wow, of all the names. Yeah, Joe, but yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, a po' boy is fried shrimp in a sandwich.
Oh, that sounds quite nice.
Fried shrimp.
Actually sounds quite nice.
My street, that is.
I've got a homeless bonus fact for you about sandwiches.
Go on.
During the period of 2007 to about 2010, jam sandwiches were really popular in Bexley Heath.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is that so?
Exceptionally popular.
I've got one. So this is another bonus post, but not related to local. But apparently, 300 million sandwiches are consumed in America a day.
300 million?
I'm sorry. 300,
300 million sandwiches
a day?
Are consumed in America a day, apparently.
By one person?
Fuck.
By one person.
I would just
like to Long John sandwich.
I would just like to point out that a Burger King Whopper has 313 milligrams of salt in, but a BLT has 1,470 milligrams of salt in. There's a little that is a little fact for you that I just Googled while you were talking. There's more salt in a BLT than a big Whopper. That's settling debate that me, Ash, Matt and Dave have had for about 13 years.
So there is more salt in a Max and Spencer sandwich than a Burger King.
There is more salt
after all these years.
But what about all the saturated fat and all the rest of it?
Yeah, that wasn't the debate, Matt. That wasn't the debate, was it?
That wasn't the debate.
So it turns out, after 13 years, Ash was right. Oh, Matt, gone.
So fucking
Yeah, but I was driving, so fuck it.
So I'm going to talk about bathtubs.
Oh yeah.
My fact this week is about
is it about what insurance they're covered under?
Yeah. Is it to what extent you could burn it and it still becomes a usable bathtub?
Is covered under building insurance, not contents insurance.
Oh, that's right.
Because it's part of the anyway. So bathtubs.
Yes.
I want you to think of a bathtub right now.
I'm thinking of a claw-footed one.
Okay, that is, to be fair, that claw-footed one fits better. In 1602, rumours began to circulate around the village of Trentkin.
1602?
Yeah, or Slovakia, where peasant girls looking for servant work.
Sorry,
you said 1602.
1602 or Slovakia.
So, are you saying?
Whatever one you want.
Are you saying
Be the year or the country?
Are you saying that Slovakia?
We've all established. I've started having my stroke now.
Are you saying?
Half an hour ago.
Are you saying? Sorry to any Slovakian listeners. Are you saying that 2021 Slovakia is the same living conditions as 1605 or 1602 medieval
I think
Europe?
Slovakia didn't exist in 1602, so it's either you have 1602 or Slovakia. So you pick one.
Everyone has clawfoot baths in Slovakia. Okay.
Either way, something's happened to me tonight that I don't know what's happened to me, and you're gonna just buckle in, buckos, because you're in for a fucking ride with this.
Do we need to call someone?
Yeah,
They're on their way
999.
away, don't worry.
Right. In 1602, also known as
Slovakia.
in a village.
If you want to learn something, listen to this fucking podcast.
Yeah.
You'll learn so much.
In the movies, when you
1602,
get established
Slovakia
in
didn't
shots,
exist.
you get established and shot in a movie, and instead of like the year of the name,
I just
1602 or Slovakia.
I just imagine like one guy listening to this and he's like, oh, 1602, Slovakia. Wait, what? Please refer back to your notes. There will be a test at the end.
Imagine your GCSEs in 1602 or Slovakia.
Right, okay, we got it.
I love it. Yeah, it was funny.
Right.
It was good.
It's not really about bathtubs, it's about how the word bath came about, and it's about the disturbing true story of Elizabeth Bathory, the Blood Countess, also known as the female Dracula. So you know you have got Vlad the Impaler?
Yeah.
This was the female version of it. So in 1602, Slovakia, rumours began to circulate around the village of, now I'm going to get all these wrong, by the way, Trenchkin, in present-day
What year was that?
Slovakia, 1602.
Oh, Trenchkin.
They're the same thing, mate.
Cool.
Peasant girls are looking for servant work in, it's C-S-E-J-T-E.
CSEJTA.
Shashta. But you have to say it like Tommy Cooper. Shashti. Castle. So basically, in the castle, they were disappearing. Many looked to Countess Elizabeth Bathory when attempting to explain the disappearances. Now, Bathory was the wife of a famous commander. She became so in 1578. His name is Nadesty. He became a big chief commander in the Hungarian army, and he went to go fight the Ottoman Empire. Now, so basically, him and Bathory used to torture servants, and purely for fun. Now, basically, when Elizabeth was young and she was being brought up in her family, they would do some. Bear in mind, it's one of these huge, big, rich families. There's, a poor village down below, and they used to just get peasant girls and start doing horrific things, kidnapping them, murdering them, but then, doing anything from. She basically loved torture.
Oh yeah,
she absolutely loved torture. Anything from slicing in between the middle of fingers.
My favorite.
She used to burn her victims with hot irons, beat them to death with clubs. But it wasn't as bad as that. Yeah. So basically, her husband went away to battle and he ended up dying. She ended up becoming a fucking lunatic because she was now the countess of this huge castle, and she ended up just going absolutely fucking batshit. So she was married when she was 15-year-old, and yeah, so they.
Sorry, did you say this fact was about baths?
Yeah. No, I'm getting to it. So I know. Yeah. So she used to love just basically being cruel to people. But there's one account where she hit one of her servant girls because she was brushing her hair and she pulled it too much. She hit the servant girl. She ended up getting blood on her hand, and she thought, oh, this looks more youthful than the rest of my body. And she ended up going on this fucking blood spree because she felt that virgin blood gave her youthfulness.
Jesus.
I do the same skincare regime, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually 63.
So she eventually, she moved to she moved to like a separate castle, and her other servants used to help her do this stuff as well. And eventually the town used to hide their children and stuff because they knew that the countess was up there. Like, so she would, she used to think that virgin blood would give her like eternal youth and all this sort of stuff. And unhappy girls were lured to the castle with the prospect that they would find work but were never seen again.
Surely after the first 10 or 20, you'd start to cotton on.
Well, it ended up coming to a body count of 650.
I'd say after the first 502, you'd probably cotton on.
Hang on a minute.
Do you know what?
That's not so cool.
60 or 70 of my virgin friends have gone to the castle and not returned. But I think it's career opportunity.
When they arrived,
they booming up there.
So they arrived. They were locked in the cellar, and they basically just awaited torture. And this Elizabeth Bathory carried out all the torture herself. She'd beat the girls to death. Sometimes she would sew a girl's mouth shut, force her to eat her own flesh, or burn her genitals. When she was too sick to get out of bed to beat them, Elizabeth would order her servants to bring up a girl to her quarters, where she would bite their faces and shoulders. In other instances, she would stick needles underneath the girl's fingertips before cutting off the fingers of those who tried to take them out. Soon, Elizabeth began to run out of young women because she had either killed them or the villagers had started to hide their daughters. This is where the Countess began to resort to noble girls, a decision that would ultimately lead to her demise. So she ran out of peasant girls and had to go. Now, before I go into her demise, the reason I talk about a bathtub is because she believed that bathing in the blood of virgin girls would keep her young forever. Right. And so she also basically ordered a big tub to be filled with virgin blood of women that she'd killed. And that's a big thing about where the word bathtub comes from Elizabeth Bathory. After a noble girl was killed in 1609, Elizabeth tried to stage a suicide, and it all basically went Pete Tong. Basically, they ended up killing all her servants, and she was not tried. She was basically got away scot-free. And she was eventually imprisoned for the rest of her life in a bricked up room with only tiny slits for food and air. And she lived in there for 3.5 years before she died in a lightless room. So there you go. Please. So I mean, if you want to go into it, check out Elizabeth Bathory.
So we had the Earl of Sandwich
story.
Earl of Sandwich quite harmlessly inventing the sandwich, and then this fucker. I tell you what, though.
Quite the opposite.
I tell you what, though. You know what 1602 Slovakia could have done with?
A king.
A sandwich, because they were Hungary. Now, see, that joke, that joke works because in 1602, Slovakia was part of the Hungarian Empire. History joke.
Very, very good.
Well done.
Look at his face.
It's time for a game.
I work all day. I look forward to this, and then
That's great.
That was history jokes.
Great joke.
Join us in the next section for more history jokes.
Oh, okay. We'll look forward to that. got a game for you, honkies. Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. How do you feel about that, eh? Yeah. And it's called. What did you fucking say? I said what I fucking said. No. What'd you say?
What's it called?
Called. What'd you say? I said what I fucking say. What'd you say?
Okay.
is it sponsored by Danny Dyer?
Sponsored by DannyDyer.com.
The Danny Dyers.
TheDannyDyer.com.
Tires.
And /DannyDyer.com /Facebook.com. Danny Dyer.
Danny Dyer. Yeah.
Danny Dyer. Anyway, this little game is all about famous quotes that you've either heard in films or from like famous people that have said something and everyone's gone, oh yeah, that's a great use of language. Fantastic right there. And I'm going to give you, let's treat it like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I'm Chris Tarrant.
Okay.
And
Cool.
I'm gonna give you four
Nice
options.
to meet you.
Hi. Okay. Fantastic.
That's actually pretty good.
You're almost there. And so I'm going to make it easy. What we're going to do is I'm going to give you four options, 1, 2, 3, or 4, to make it easy with obviously, because we're all on webcams and shit like that. Hold up 1 finger for 1, 2 fingers for 2, 3 fingers for 3, 4 fingers for 4. That's your answers. Joe, if you wouldn't mind keeping score.
Great for an audio podcast.
Yeah.
Great for an audio podcast. If you can announce it as well when we go through it for the scum that are blind. And yeah, that's right, you heard me. And then we'll go from there. Okay.
If you're
So
blind, we hate you.
blind. Yeah, you just you asked for it. No, you didn't. Anyway, all right, I'm asking for it.
Well,
That's
Dave-
okay.
Next
Dave
week,
knows
to
Sin
turn
and Gin.
everything around. No, to turn
And this is
everything
the last
around. So next
podcast
week's
Dave could
Synergin is in Braille.
He's in Braille because Dave's now blind. Anyway, first question. I'll do stupid accents just because fuck it. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. Now that is your first quote.
Michael
Was it?
Caine.
Beatus.
That which does not kill us makes us stronger. Now a lot of these, I won't lie, are quite difficult. So
Plutonium.
I tried to make it easier with the options. So number 1, Harry Potter. Number 2, Fred West. Number 3, Frederick Nitzel. Or number 4, Winston Churchill.
I feel like you were trying to say Frederick Nietzsche.
Yeah, I was. But I decided to say Nitzel because
It's your turn for the stroke.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Frederick Nitzel, the
Yeah,
German
yeah.
Schnitzel.
yeah. I did that.
I'm gonna go with 4.
Okay, you're saying Winston Churchill.
I feel it's a little lowbrow for Nietzsche, but I'm gonna go with 3.
Number 3, you're going with Frederick, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Ashley Tarrant. What you
I'll
got?
go with 4 as well.
You're going with 4. It is number 3.
Oh.
Freddie
Nietzsche.
Oh, Freddie Nietzsche. Nitzel, as I originally said.
Philosophizing. Well, I figured that saying had to come from somewhere, and it might as well be from him.
A philosopher. Very correct. Next one. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans.
Oh.
Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans.
Can you do
I've
it in a
started
Mickey Mouse accent?
Oh, I didn't do an accent, did I? Sorry. How rude of me. Mickey Mouse. Oh, life is what happens when you're making busy plans. Was it 1, Dick and Dom? Was it 2, Eddie Murphy? Was it 3, John Lennon? Was it 4, Alfred Hitchcock? I repeat those. Was it 1, Dick and Dom?
Wouldn't it be great if it was Dick and Dom?
I'm so tempted.
I'm gonna go with option 3.
Okay, so I'm about saying John Lennon.
But what was
I'll
option
go-
4?
I'll go number 4. Alfred
4 was Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, I'll go Alfred Hitchcock.
I'm gonna go number 3.
Joe's number 3. It was John Lennon.
Yeah.
John Lennon said, "Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans." Number 4.
And he said it just like that.
He was like, "What are you doing with that gun, Yoko?" Anyway, life is busy. Anyway, next one, number 3. Get busy living or get busy dying.
The Terminator? I don't know.
Was it Bruce Springsteen, Hillary Clinton, Stephen King, or Professor Elemental?
3.
3. Good Joe.
I'll go 3 as well.
This is a conflict free from Joe, I think. It's
Free. Cut free for me.
Yeah. Well, you're all correct. Thanks to young Joseph there with his magic number 3.
I should have gone first.
Stephen King.
It is my favourite author, so.
Yeah. I thought that was an easy one from Joe.
It's also the name of a Kings of Nothing album.
By Stephen Kings of Nothing.
Stephen King.
And listeners, if you want a good band to listen to, check out the Kings of Nothing.
If you want a good author, you've probably already heard of Stephen King.
Yeah, if you haven't, where the fuck are you living right now?
Yeah.
Anyway, right, next one. 'Tis better to have loved and lost than to have loved, never loved at all.
Yep, got that wrong, didn't you?
'Tis better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
Is it William Shakespeare?
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh, is it not? Okay.
Right, shut us up.
So you can go fuck yourself. Is it 1. Our dread Lord Tennyson, 2. Henry Ford, 3. Jimmy Savile, or 4. 4. Frankenjean.
I'm going to go with Lord Tennyson.
Number 4, Frankenjean.
Yes.
Oh, Ash. Ash always sits us down and gives us pearls of wisdom.
We know Ashley to every
I'm gonna
podcast go.
I'm gonna go.
It's better to have loved.
I'm gonna go with 4.
I'm going to go with 1.
You go with 4. You go with 1. Ashley.
I remember what the things were. I just heard about that.
It is better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
That's all, yeah.
Did you say that, Ash?
What was, yeah, no, I was, so yeah, I didn't.
Just pick a number, Ash.
Oh, well, I don't know, 2. I can't remember who they were.
It was 1.
Yeah, thanks.
Aldred.
All right.
Was it Aldred?
Let's do one more.
Well done.
You've written Aldred. His name isn't Aldred. His name is Alfred.
Aldred.
It's Alfred Lord
Didn't write
Lord
anything.
Tennyson, isn't it?
I was Aldred. A-L-D.
I would have fucking got that if I'd got the right name.
Or A-L-D.
Is that a name?
Aldred? I don't fucking.
Aldred?
What's his name?
Dave, do one more for the tiebreaker.
We'll do one more.
Alfred Lord Tennyson.
I tell you what, I'll do an easy one for you. With scum. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Was it 1. Adolf Hitler? 2.
From Mein Kampf.
Yeah, that guy. 2. He didn't do anything else apart from that. 2. Rupert Murdoch. 3. Gary Glitter. Or 4. Forrest Gump.
I think it's 4, Forrest Gump.
I think it was 1.
Even though it's
Matt's going for 1.
1?
Which was Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
And, you know, he would have gone like, life is like a box of chocolates. You'll never know what you're going to get. And like that. And that's how it was. Yeah, it's fucking Forrest Gump, for fuck's sake.
Right, I think it's time for shit news.
Number 1. Go fuck yourselves.
This is the latest dispatch just received in our news.
Sin and Gin Podcast, bringing you the latest news from around the world with Hot Lips, Funky Gibbon, Long Socks, and Teabag. This is shit news. Yeah, it's shit news.
I forgot about this part.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my ladies and jelly spoons, wherever you are,
Happens to you.
whenever it is. We are your juicy news team. You're here with Funky Gibbon, Long Socks, Hot Lips, and the other one.
Teabag.
Teabag, that's it. I've been up and down this great nation the past week, and I've taken my grain sack with me, and every location I've stopped off, and I've picked up some grains of news, and I put them into my grain sack, and then when I've got back to sunny Stevenage, I've mushed them into a barley paste, to a drink, a nutritious drink to put in your mouths and feed you all the latest news. And that is the only way to avoid the lamestream media here with the Juicy News crew. So this week,
I know about Jordan.
Jacqueline Josser, whoever the fuck that is, beams as she runs errands while wearing a blue top. Matt?
Back!
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry. Hang on. No, hold up. No. The news was that someone went for a run in a blue top.
No, she run errands in a summery blue top and jeans. That was the whole headline. Love Island fans call out Faye Winter after she rates herself above AJ.
Bastards! Who's AJ?
David Beckham's dyed his hair blonde, and Victoria gives a seal of approval. I've never seen David Beckham blonde.
But he's
What you
sexy.
do.
I'm sure he can pull it off.
Doesn't matter. He's very
Like
shy.
the entire 90s. Michelle Keegan wore something black and went for a drive in an expensive Range Rover.
Bastard!
And Katie
It's slow news week.
and Katie Price and her ex Kieran Hayler are finally divorced after 3 years apart.
They were married.
What ex is this?
I can't keep up. It's whatever. It's not Peter Andre, and we don't care about
Oh,
anyone.
what
They
a
don't
day.
He was married to Peter Andre.
One day.
She was married to Peter Andre, yes.
Oh, sorry. I thought Katy Perry for a second then.
No,
then.
not Katy Perry.
Sorry.
Your
Katie
K's
Price.
mixed up.
Sorry.
Getting your
Too many
Katie's mixed
Ks.
up. But what I want to
Oh,
focus
that's
on this
fine.
week is a robot called Pepper, who's
Oh, I
been
found that hilarious.
fired from a whole bunch. He's been fired from a load of jobs.
Fucking robot.
He's been
How
fired.
will he live?
He's been fired multiple times.
Bollocks. You don't make a robot and go, right, that's it, mate. All right, come in here.
How will he?
Can we have a word? Can we have a chat?
How would
I've
how would he
used
buy for the little chips?
I've used
Oh, what have I done today?
I've used fired with creative license. So it's a Japanese company called SoftBank who make a humanoid robot called Pepper, and he's been sacked from about 6 jobs. So basically, they made this robot as like a human, like an assistant, and Scottish grocery chain. I cannot pronounce that word. Margiotta installed a Pepper in their flagship Edinburgh store, but it turned out to be not very helpful, advising customers to look in the alcohol section when asking for anything but where the alcohol was.
That sounds like a fucking killer. That sounds great.
Yeah, he lasted a few months.
He was destined for his job.
Store manager said he lasted a few months before getting the sack.
A few months. Go in the alcohol section. No, stop doing that. Okay, go in the alcohol section. I'll give you another couple of months.
Surely
Doing
just
that.
signs would work.
Yep, and then the Japanese nursing home also used 3 of them, hoping they'd keep the residents company and lead group sing-songs. Apparently, they took unplanned breaks and stared blankly at the residents when asked a question and scared them all.
And got them all pissed.
Yeah,
Oh, I love
and,
this.
and directed them to the alcohol section.
What he's called? I want one.
The SoftBank Hawks, a professional baseball team, they used 100 of these because they wanted to entertain the crowds during their games instead of cheerleaders. The crowd said it felt creepy and a bit like a North Korean military parade because they all did exactly the same moves. But apparently he's still employed. He's still employed in a couple of schools. Yeah, and he's probably getting them all stuck on alcohol. See, that's Pepper the robot. But I am going to move over to sunny Dartford, where Teabag has got only the hottest of barley scoops.
Oh, hello. Yes. Here we are. I'm just scooping out my barley right now. Thanks for sending that across, Joe. I know you've worked hard for this barley this week.
Yep.
So my...
We all got barley.
Did you not get your barley? No news for
I
you.
did.
My news this week. The world's best dad joke has been voted for 2021.
God.
Oh, well, this is my ballpark.
They've had more than 2,700 gag-loving dads submitted.
Don't say like that.
That's a bit.
Are you sure it wasn't gag-loving?
Talking about jokes.
Are you sure it wasn't gag-loving daddies?
They've had more than 2,700 gagging daddies.
Gagging daddles.
Yeah, go on. Sorry,
this is
dads. That's incredible.
Yeah, gagging dads.
Gagging dads.
Thanking dads, yeah.
So this is the winning joke. You ready?
Yep.
I once hired a limo, but whenever... Sorry.
No.
Pause.
I'm going to start again. I once hired a limo, but when it arrived, the guy driving it walked off. I said, "Excuse me, are you not going to drive me?" The guy told me that the price didn't include a driver. So I'd spent £400 on a limo and have nothing to show for it.
I like that. I'm taking that.
I like that.
So some of the other ones that were submitted. Why did the man fall down the well? Because he didn't see that well.
That's fucking terrible.
What did the pirate say on his 80th birthday? "Aye, matey." Someone has glued my pack of cards together. I don't know how to deal with it.
Oh, I'm 80 is
wondering-
my favourite.
Yeah, I was wondering why the frisbee kept looking bigger and bigger, and then it hit me.
Oh, the enter
Tastes dead.
I was stood behind a customer at an ATM, and he turned around and said, "Could you check my balance?" So I pushed him. His balance wasn't that great.
Even Dave got a little laugh at that
Dave
one.
laughed at that
Dave
one.
got a little laugh at
Dave
that
laughed at that one.
I like that.
because it
Why
involved
did-
physical pain.
Violence. Yeah. that involved violence.
Why did the scarecrow win an award?
I don't know.
Because he was left out standing in a field.
Oh, that's old. That one.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
What did the daddy buffalo say to? Oh, hold on, wait. I've had a stroke again. What did the daddy buffalo say to his son when he left for work?
Gag me.
Bye, son.
Wait, it sounds
And
bisexual.
the last one. Two guys walked into a bar. The third guy ducked.
Ah, very good.
That one's all.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off there in Gag Central. We've got long socks. Come in, long socks.
That's me, isn't it?
Yeah,
so,
I forgot my name.
I've got socks that are long. I don't. Anyway,
I don't. I have incredibly short socks because I'm so tall.
They're all ankle socks because my feet are 12 inches. That's a fact right there. Anyway, the owner of a prehistoric-looking house.
News.
The owner of a prehistoric-looking house in posh San Francisco suburb has settled a lawsuit with the town of Hillsborough. Now, another one. This is another one I highly recommend you guys have a little quick look up for a Fred Flintstone house in Hillsborough, California. This woman has built her own house. It's called the Fred Flintstone house simply because by the front door there is a statue of Fred Flintstone, but the rest of the house doesn't look anything like the Flintstones. The rest of the house looks like you drive past it and go, "What the fuck is that?
Oh my god, it's
What is
horrific.
going on there?"
It looks like Teletubbies.
Yeah, I was about to say the
Yeah,
Teletubbies.
Teletubbies was the first thing that came to my mind, but I didn't want to be like Teletubbies, and you'll go, "What?"
Oh my god, what
So-
the fuck?
She's got like this Teletubby-looking building, and it's on a hill, and then the garden goes down. So that adds to the effort of Teletubby land.
God.
But
It
the
looks
garden
like-
goes down, and then there's just a load of random like bronze-looking statues of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Now this woman's got this building. It's in a higher upmarket suburb of LA. Hillsborough is like a very higher market. Let's call it upper class society, where all the houses, like in the UK, have to look the same. Like you go down the street, the houses have to form a
does
similar
not
format.
look the same.
This house is a fucking catastrophe. This house is basically in the middle. It stands out. She kind of got away with it for a while, building her own thing, doing what she's going to do, putting her Fred Flintstone statues at the front, doing this weird, crazy-looking buildings. Basically, after a while, a lot of the neighbours kicked off and complained because obviously all their houses formatted to a certain idea across the area. And hers was an eyesore. And basically, she built a dinosaur that was above a certain height in her back garden. I believe I can't remember what type of dinosaur it was, but the one with the very long neck that was a plant eater, we'll say, whatever. This thing was way too big, and it was against the standards of like height and stuff like that. And so the council kicked off and tried to sue her over this dinosaur being in her garden. And somehow she won the rights to keeping the building exactly the way it is, keeping all the dinosaurs in their garden, and also the town of Hillsborough had to pay her $125,000
Fucking hell.
as an apology for all the stress and all the other kind of crap going on with it. But she won in the long run. But as you guys have seen, and obviously you as the listener, I highly recommend you give it a little quick research into looking what this building looks like.
I just searched Fred Flintstone house and it came up immediately on the Google Images. I mean, despite looking like a Teletubby house, I mean, live your dream, man. Like, this is.
But the funny thing is, have you guys had a look in the interior pictures?
Yeah, the inside looks cool.
It looks like Flintstones. Like it does. Like inside, it has got a bit.
Inside looks like it'd be a
Flintstones
cool thing
vibe.
to hang out for a weekend. And I looked into it a bit more. So like this thing was about 2014 with the whole lawsuit and stuff like that. And there's been a lot more going on since. But in 2016, she started doing Airbnb. She tried to sell the place. She tried to sell the place for about $3 million. No one gave a fuck.
Oh shit!
As if someone would buy it.
What a surprise!
It does, don't it?
Everyone was just like, "I'll knock it down for 10 grand." You know, I mean, like that. But no one wanted to buy it. She was offering it for about $3 to $3.5 million. No one was interested. She still owns the place today. She was doing it for Airbnb for $750 a night to hire out this place.
Wow,
which is about £500 a night for I don't know how many bedrooms it is, but for this exuberant looking place in Hillsborough, which is obviously, as I said before, a high market area. But it's just a fantastic building with some weird architecture going on.
To be fair, surely I'm surprised that she couldn't even, like you said about like knocking it down and stuff, but the land alone must be worth a fair chunk if it's in that area. Yeah.
Surely.
Absolutely. I'm going to stop you there. I've just checking my bag.
I
think I definitely sent some barley to Funky Gibbon. Funky Gibbon, did you receive the barley, Funky Gibbon?
Your news barley.
Yes, I got the barley right here. Thank you, Joe. That's great. I just wanted to make sure. I digitized it and put it into my phone.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah, digital barley.
Barley.
That's what the kids are doing these days.
That's it. Like, it's
like Bitcoin. Yeah. The Juicy Crew currency will be digital barley.
Digital barley.
Please
so make sure you
in the barley coin.
Yeah, make sure you invest in barley coin.
That's the future right there.
So kids watch as men brawl in Pontins toilets, sending £50 notes flying.
So Pontins.
Pontins, yeah. Children watched on in horror as men fought in the gents, scattering banknotes across the floor.
I feel like I haven't lived. I haven't been to a Pontins or a Butlins. Never lived.
You've lived. Trust me.
I love that you've lived.
I went to one when I was 7 years old. We left the next day because the people in the room next to us were beating each other up.
Oh, well, okay. Well, this is good context.
Yeah.
So men were fighting and 100, was it 100? What?
No, it was £50 notes were flying everywhere, apparently. It says, a family holiday with their children watched in horror as men threw punches in a gent's toilet. Ray, who doesn't wish for his full name to be used, witnessed the mass brawl in the toilets of Pontins in Prince Saturn yesterday. Dad from Liverpool said his family had travelled to the campsite for a quiet few days away, but were horrified. Where
was it?
In Is it Prestatyn?
Oh, in Prestatyn in Wales.
Yeah. It's for quite a few days, but were horrified when the brawl broke out at 3:30 p.m. Said Ray told the Echo £50 notes could be seen scattered on the floor as police arrived at the scene. This is young children looked on.
Who went to Pontins with a load of £50 notes?
Well, either drug dealers or builders, I guess.
One man was taken to first aid, and there must have been 15 officers on the scene, and apparently there was lots of £15 notes taken in as evidence. I feel
like they're really honing on this £50 note thing.
Yeah, I don't know why. Something must be.
Were they stripping?
I can't remember the last time I had a £50 note.
Yeah, basically said the men were kicking and screaming in the back of the police van. And it just apparently there was police still there 5 hours after the initial incident. And then he's basically like, this guy's basically just said he just wants to try and enjoy the rest of his holiday with his family. It's such an
Can you imagine what they were arguing about?
Non-story. Yeah.
I think the family buffet is adequately priced. I think you're bananas.
No, you stepped in front of me while my wife was trying to order her souffle. Right.
I seeing it as a £50 note. I think they were both fighting about who was the biggest fan of Alan Turing.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
makes
it.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
That's definitely it. There's no other question.
I think it's
Alan
time
Turing?
I'm a bigger fan of Alan Turing. I am. I think it's time for the Blank-O-Mattic.
Yeah,
Right,
good call.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah.
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 Blank-O-Mattic, it's chromatic, it's dramatic. Blank-O-Mattic, it's Blank-O-Mattic.
All right, you weenies. This is me trying to do an introduction without sounding like I'm having a stroke. This is the Blank-O-Mattic, where we find a generator online and we put in nouns, adjectives, verbs, blah, blah, blah. And we find out what the answer is, whether it be a letter or a news story, or we just do Spider-Man impressions. So, guys, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that when I was a kid, I went to camp?
What camp?
Exactly. And hence why I said before we started this segment, I know where these jokes are going.
Okay. I'll be very careful.
Yeah. So
Was it
when
camp science?
it was just a camp.
Okay.
So when I was at this camp, I had to send a letter to my mum.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And so, but I can't. I've only recently found it, but I can't really work it out. So I need your help to work out
Cool.
what the
Okay.
The showers were fantastic.
what my camp was about. Apologies, listener. I don't know where this is going.
No.
We need a family member.
Uncle Barry.
Uncle Barrymore.
Someone reversing.
No,
Eagle. Reversing. Who is that?
sorry. That's a fucking. We meant. Sorry, Joe. Can you pause this or? Oh no, it's gone now. sorry, listeners. There was a bus outside. Right, we need choose one. Why, how, when, where, are, or do.
Do.
Yeah, do.
This is gonna go bad. Adjective.
Chubby.
Ooh.
Chubby. Okay. Amount of time. For example, 3 days or 6 years. Ash.
3 weeks. Let's go 3 weeks.
No. I'd go more. I've read this through.
All right. Okay. All right.
Just so you know,
three
the
months.
the more the better.
3 years. 3 years.
Okay. We need 2 adjectives. Enchanting.
Crinkled.
Delightful.
Crinkled. I like
Crinkled.
crinkled
We
and delightful.
Joe, we need your speciality. A room in a house.
Oh, the piss cavern.
Piss pantry.
Piss pantry.
The piss pantry. Good. Ash, we need a number.
27.
27. Boys or girls?
Both.
Boys.
Boys.
Bells.
We need an adjective.
Naive.
Oh, supple.
Obedient.
Supple.
Supple.
We need a plural occupation.
Bee wrangler. Wait, is that plural?
Bee wranglers.
Bee
Bee wranglers.
Wranglers. There has to be
Who
less
said
somewhere, doesn't it?
who put blowjobs in there?
Texan blowjob
What?
wranglers.
I put
Bees and
bee-
blowjob wrangler.
What's
bee
that make
blowjob
sense?
wrangler. You suck on
Yeah.
bees.
Bees and blowjob salespersons.
Hello, you interested in bees? No. How about
What about
blowjobs?
blowjobs?
Yeah. No.
Bees and
All right.
blowjob salmon.
Do you like bees?
Ash, we need a number.
192.
Ooh.
AM or PM?
Yeah.
PM.
AM to PM.
AM up here.
Ash, we need a number.
Oh God. We go for something a lot smaller. 5.
AM or PM?
AM.
AM.
5 a.m.
Lunch, breakfast, dinner, dessert. Choose one.
Wait. Lunch, breakfast, dinner, dessert. Is dessert a separate? Is that a separate meal?
I'm going to say dessert just
I want
because.
dessert. Because it's owned its own warranty on that one.
Yeah.
So
Plural verb.
Uh,
Cuddles.
bounces.
yeah.
Thrustings.
Um,
Yeah, cuddles. Yeah, let's go with cuddles.
Cuddles.
Transportation.
Electric scooter.
Richard Branson's Spacefarer.
Hungarian ski lift.
Italian ski lift.
Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train.
Very nice. Yeah, there you go.
All aboard!
Verb plus ing.
Verbing.
Exploring.
Twiddling.
Stroking.
Filling.
Standing.
No, I'm going to go with twiddling. We need a verb. Just a verb. One standard regular verb.
Dip.
Survive.
Thrust.
5. I like that. Something outside. Cliffs, cloud, tree. I think we can be quite.
Traffic light.
Berlin Wall.
Sure.
David Hasselhoff's Berlin Wall.
What was it? David Hasselhoff's Berlin Wall.
He was involved in the Berlin Wall coming
Yeah.
down.
It wasn't sponsored by David Hasselhoff.
It wasn't sponsored, but for some reason, when the Berlin Wall came down, David Hasselhoff.
What was wrong with just Berlin Wall?
No,
Because Hasselhoff got involved.
it's now the Berlin Wall sponsored by David Hasselhoff.
Could it be like the Berlin Wall sponsored by PepsiCo or something?
By Hasselhoff go.
It's David Hasselhoff's Berlin Wall.
Sponsors 1989 Berlin Wall.
We need a noun.
Usain Bolt Zoom Juice. That's how he gets so fast.
How do you make this stuff so quick?
I just reckon he's got a hot somewhere. He just picks.
Oh yeah, it's in my party bag.
It's like the South Park. It's like the South Park episode depiction of Family Guy. That's how I imagine Joe.
Oh yeah, Usain Bolt Zoom Juice. Ladybird eyelashes.
Single food.
Ozzy
Osbourne's gravy train.
Just crazy train. Millionaire shortbread.
One nectarine.
A digested bookworm.
One hobnob.
Scrotal soup.
No, that's grim.
Minestrone for the lonely.
A stale hobnob.
What about
Minestrone for the lonely?
I like that.
Oh, that's a great album name.
I was proud of that one.
minestrone for the lonely? We need an adjective.
Demonic.
Bubonic.
Oh, demonic.
No, demonic.
I thought you said bubonic.
I'm demonic.
Demonic. We need a noun.
Lighthouse Family chocolate bar.
Because we are gonna be Roman Catholic candles.
The thing I like about that is that it's so non-offensive. Like, Lighthouse Family decided to bring out a chocolate, and it was like,
wait, weren't they a thing in the 90s?
I'll eat it.
it's like,
Oh, now they won't come back, did they?
right, Ash, we need a number.
88.
Joe, we need an animal.
Oh.
Don't get colours anymore. Sweet.
Yeah.
A milk terrapin.
Bat wizard.
Oh, bat wizards. One of those animals.
Wouldn't it be a wizard bat, technically?
Bat wizard
It's
sounds
an
better.
animal. Well, whatever, yeah.
Bat wizard.
Don't argue with that.
Dave, we need a body part.
Femur.
I was looking at mandible.
Let's
Oh,
go.
the thorax.
Yeah.
Let's go for the invertebrate.
All right, we need 4 adjectives. So,
Fucking hell.
Ash, pick an adjective.
One each, isn't it?
Obese.
Obese. Dave, pick an adjective.
Obedient.
We already had chubby. I feel like
Well,
we've got a
we've
thing
got a lot of
going.
kids on this camp.
It fits. Yeah, it's just gonna fit. I could go with something else if not. I don't mind.
Joe?
Buttery.
This is kind of obese, obedient, buttery, and Matt.
Kind-hearted.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, bless him.
My ideal guy.
I'd date him in a heartbeat.
Love me a
We-
buttery guy.
We need a single food and a plural food.
Broccoli.
No, that's a person. That's a person, Dave.
Sorry. Satsuma.
Toenail tatsiki.
Oh,
Toenail tatsiki.
that's awful.
It's so crunchy.
That's so awful. The thought of a toenail tzatziki.
Need a plural one now.
Hemorrhoid hummus.
Oh yeah, they pair very well.
Lord Almighty. Hello there. We've run out of hummus.
Wait, what's the
Can we
plural of
just say the
hummus?
Hemorrhoid.
My.
It's just hummus, isn't it?
It would just be
Hummus.
hummus.
I've got two pots of hummus.
How many
We've got
hummus
two
would you
pots
like
of hummus.
today? I can offer you 5 hummus or 6 hummus.
It's the same as
One
Jesus. 1 Jesus is Jesus. 2 Jesus is Jesus.
He's I. So it's whom I.
So plural. We need
Would you
another.
like whom I,
Christ.
hummus,
Jesus
or whom I?
Christ.
We need another plural food.
Oh, fucking hell.
Grapes.
Gammon strips.
Salmon in Costco.
Boris Johnson's gammon strips.
Boris Johnson's collection of pepperoni.
I've gone for Boris Johnson. Boris
Johnson's gammon strips.
Joris Bonson's.
Joyce Bonson's gammon strips.
Bojo's jellied gammon.
Bojo's meat. Fuck
Bojo's
off.
jellied gammon strips.
Yeah,
Eat dick. and
good for
die.
kids.
You'll get the protein and the other shit.
Oh, we need another adjective. Woozy.
Oh, fucking hell.
Flippant.
Eager.
Sloppy.
No, I've gone for
sexual.
woozy.
Tiny.
We need
Itchy.
good or bad.
Bad.
Shit.
Clearly.
Bad, mate.
We need a letter of the alphabet. Ash.
G.
Gee.
We need 2 family members.
Your fucking mum and your dead
Your
nan.
fucking mum.
Man.
Fucking mum and
Dead man.
dead nan.
Yeah.
Oh, nanny.
Yours.
We need a building. hospital
the one that looks like a play
the
button on
Flintstone
YouTube.
House. Flintstone House, San Francisco. Hillsborough.
Flintstone House, San Francisco.
I think we can do better than that.
The one in London Bridge that looks like a play button from a distance if you're looking at it from YouTube, but you're not quite sure if you can press play. So you keep pressing play, but it doesn't come up because it's
Who
just
was,
a fucking building.
Who was Noddy's friend? Who was Noddy's mate?
Alfred
What?
Hitchcock.
Big ears.
Yeah,
Yes.
Big ears bum.
big ears bum.
Big ears boudoir. Big ears boudoir.
Big ears bum boudoir. Big ears bum dungeon.
Naughty.
Hello. Bum bungalow. Big ears.
Oh no, big ears bum bungalow. How about that?
Big ears. Bum bungalow.
Bum bungalow.
Bum bum bungalow.
Any American listeners, just Google Noddy and big ears. You might have it in America. I don't know.
You know.
Right. I think we can join our things together here. We need a greeting. So, Joe, do you want to start our greeting off?
Does he?
Cry low.
Sorry. What did you say? Cry low.
Dave, Dave, what's your... Dave, you're next.
Start greeting with no. Don't try and transfer the truth. Did he try and start greeting with cry low? You fucking nerd.
Cry low.
You fucking cry low. Hello, cry low.
Dave, we got cry low. What you said for your greeting?
Oh well, if he's gonna cry low,
We're
and
gonna have a sentence.
So what's the word after cry low, Dave?
cry low. Hey, what do you know about the cry low, Joe? Yo,
No, that's
no.
It's just one word.
Oh, fucking Poe. Come on.
Cry low. Ho.
Cry low, you. Cry low, the hoe. Fuck off. This is shit. Cry low. This is shit. Fuck off.
I've never seen Dave so offended about anything.
Fuck off.
He's really,
Fuck off.
he's really.
We can't go from fucking cry low. Like, oh, that's a word of the
Cry
English
low,
fucking
sloppy
language.
Joe.
Alright,
Fuck off. Fuck you.
Ash.
Fuck all
All
three of you.
right, Dave, what's the beginning of it then?
I shit on my mum.
Oh,
Shit.
so cry low wasn't good enough, but I shit on my mum is
Yeah, you
okay,
know what?
green.
Yeah, because cry low was such a fucking, casual thing in the first place.
Okay, we need an adjective.
Lame.
Oh, lame.
Right.
Cry low.
Fucking poo boy.
Joe, we need a transportation.
Poo boy Miguel.
The teacup, spinny.
Why is the gap between your doors so dark?
The
Oh,
spinning,
mate, all the spooks are in there.
That is creepy as fuck. Close that door immediately.
the spinning
No.
teacup.
No!
The spinning
teacup.
teacup.
The spinny teacup tank.
The spinning teacup of spooks.
Yeah.
Spooks.
What's behind Joe's door?
All right, we're
That's
nearly
the real
there.
creep.
Ash, we
That's
need
awful.
we need an amount of time: 3 days or 6 years, etc.
We'll go for something a bit smaller this time.
No, go large.
I'll go large. Okay. 112 years.
Oh,
Or is that too large?
Right, we need a plural verb.
oh yeah.
Fuckings.
I've gone for jiggles.
Jiggles?
Picking.
We need
Suckings.
son or daughter. Choose one.
Son.
Hermaphrodite.
Yeah.
Noun plural.
Oh, toolboxes
Nouns.
full of broken child's limbs.
What is behind that door?
Toolbox of child.
You're not Joe. You're not
Last
Joe anymore.
and a last one. We need a random person's name.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Krylo.
Broccoli.
Krylo Johnson.
Barry Blunton's peculiar balloons.
Babushka balloon.
Patty
Babushka balloon.
Ponkin.
Whacking Pickamix.
Patty Pontins.
Patty pick and mix.
Patty Pickamix.
Pickamix.
Right, I'm gonna play it.
Right.
Everyone take a drink.
Everyone, as is
I don't
tradition.
think we need them.
Fucking hell. This is gonna be a disaster. I can already
Can't wait
feel
to decide what music goes over this. Children's nursery rhymes.
Right, ready? Letter to Mum from camp. Dear Uncle Barrymore.
Oh! Off to a bad start.
I love that you call your mum Uncle Barrymore.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna write to Mum, aka Uncle Barrymore.
Dear Uncle Barrymore, how do you?
How do you?
How do you?
How do you? Hi there, Krylo.
How do you?
Dear Uncle Barrymore, how do you? I am chubby.
What's this written backwards? The how do you wasn't even us, was it?
How
This is
do
the
you?
original
Yeah,
and
because we had to
No, we
say
had to pick. Yeah.
we had to pick a thing, and you chose do.
What? Wasn't the other one of the other ones? Why? How are you?
Yeah. Well, it's been 3 years at camp, and it's been enchanting. So you leave your kid at camp for 3 years.
Fucking hell.
Hey,
Uncle
tell me
Barrymore
one at a
would.
time.
Well, it's been
Well
3
done.
years at camp, and it's been enchanting. The people are really crinkled.
After 3 years.
I share a piss pantry with 27 other boys, and we have all become supple friends. Our bees and blowjob salmon make us go to bed at 1:92 p.m.
Oh,
and we must be up at 5 a.m.
that's a weird time.
They make us go to bed at 1:92 p.m. and we must be up at 5 a.m. sharp, or we don't get dessert. Which kind of cuddles. That kind of cuddles.
I want to get that into my everyday speech. Oh man, that kind of cuddles.
We went Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train racing yesterday. We've also gone twiddling. We went on a long survive up a huge David Hasselhoff's Berlin Wall. Usain Bolt Zoom Juice throwing contest. Minestrone for the lonely roasting, and we all take turns telling demonic stories while sitting around a lighthouse family chocolate.
Oh, this camp is just sad.
Just 88 days ago, I saw a bat wizard scratching its mandible on a tree. I mean, that's terrifying.
Wait, I think I saw one behind here.
The blackness. Yeah.
That's where the bat wizard scratches his mandibles.
It was absolutely obese. So I took a picture to show you later. Like, if you're gonna see a bat wizard scratching his mandible, you know that is a fat fucker.
That's a fat boy right there.
Fat fucking that wizard, right?
The food is surprisingly obedient.
Okay.
Behave.
It doesn't move too much.
Last night they gave us toenail tzatziki and cheese on hemorrhoid hummus.
Oh.
Who knew it would be so buttery?
Oh no.
I made you all kind-hearted Bojo's jellied gammon strips the other day, and everyone thought they were woozy.
Oh, I don't blame him.
I have a really bad reputation around here. LGL, whatever that is. I think that's supposed to be LOL, but why would they replace O with G? That is that. Instead of laugh out loud, it's
Gargle.
Laugh. Gargle. Laugh, gargle, laugh.
yeah.
Laugh, gargle.
How is your fucking mum doing? Is Dead Man still building that big ear bum bungalow out back?
I doubt it. How's your fucking mum?
Tell everyone I say, cry low, I shit on my mum. I miss you all so lame. Be home on the spinny teacup of spooks in another 112 years. Giggles from your best son. Lots of toolbox of child's limbs. Paddy pick and mix.
Lots of toolboxes of child limbs. Paddy Becky Mix.
Hi everyone, I'm Paddy Pick and Mix. Here's my toolbox of child limbs.
Here you go.
And I'm your favourite son.
Oh, you lucky W.
So yeah.
Wow.
That was
I
quite.
mean, I can't help but feel that was absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
That was grim.
I think we conjured up some imagery there, including the bat wizard scratching its mandibles.
That just worked out so perfectly. I'm not gonna lie, that one was great.
But on a good side, the bees and blowjob salesman goes to bed at 1:92 p.m.
Yeah.
I feel like is that like the Masons?
Imaginary time.
I feel like that could become like a thing like the Masons. You know,
That's
like
the real time.
like in secret societies, people say things to each other. Like if you're a fan of this podcast, you go up to someone and be like, "What is it? The bees and blowjob salesman goes to bed at 1:92 p.m. and then the other person goes,
Yes, he does.
cry
That's
low."
correct.
The weight.
That is the way of the bees and bales salesman.
Cry low, I shit on my mum.
The weight of the mandible scratching bat wizard is what?
My favourite is, how's your fucking mum doing?
Maybe that's it. You go. So one person has to go. The bees and blowjob salesman goes to bed at 1:92 p.m. How's your fucking mum? And that's just like the greeting. That's just like the greeting that fans of the podcast give each other.
So welcome to Sin and Jin podcast, where this episode has been fucking chaotic. Thank you very much for listening. I love you all. Add us all on sinandjinpodcast@gmail.com. Add us all on the usual things. We love you very much. Huzzah!
Krylo.
Hello.
Krylo.
Hello.
I'm off to Krylo myself to sleep.